Well, hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and we're back on the Silverado 1500 2024, and it's not looking good. Here's an update. I front back together. The aftermarket parts, they look good enough. I mean, but the fitment is pretty bad. The grill is OEM, but it is broken in the corner where it mounts, in that corner, the bottom, and this corner. You can see it's still broken. But I didn't want to buy one of those, so it is what it is. The grill is OEM and everything else is aftermarket. Fitment is questionable. Well, I mean, fitment is okay for aftermarket. I mean, I'm not a body man, so they're gonna have to, work some of this. But like I said, if they don't have to do it with the inspection, then it's a work truck. I'm not gonna make it look pristine, nor do I care. I got a lot of money into it already, so it's just this kind of fitment where the pieces don't clip in. I've pushed that in so many times. I've driven this a few miles, not too much. I can't register it, so I can't bring it on the road. But the hood is open, so that gap is diminished. But it's not bad. I mean, this frame rail here that's on the inside where the light, fender, and front bumper cover actually mount up to is a little tweaked. You could see there's, I'd have to say, a 1/4 inch gap there, because the frame rail is pushed back and down a little bit. So it is what it is. I just need it to pass inspection. I mean, I've bought vehicles with rebuilt titles with worse fitment than that, so I don't think they're looking for something that crazy. But the bad news is, I put it all back together, and it was still the whole, hey, the alarm system's not working, there's no function, the passenger window lock and switches don't work, nothing works on that side, and it's just the radio didn't work. There was just a bunch of stuff, but mainly the alarm. I couldn't start the truck without it being inside that little slot. So I got frustrated. I can't find any wiring diagrams or anything for this vehicle, and not to mention I don't have any elaborate scan tool that can scan into the body control modules or any other modules. All I got is just a cheap scanner that can scan ECM code, so I'm at the mercy of somebody else on this project. So I had no choice. I brought it to the dealer, and I told him I think it's got a bad body control module. That was my guess. I did pull out the interior, the carpet and everything, because it was wet, and it was, who knows how long it's been wet, but it was just nasty. I ripped out the carpet, and that's over here, and I just let it air out and sucked up all the this is a rubber floor, rubber carpet or mat, whatever you want to call it, with foam backing, and all the foam on the footwells, driver and passenger, was just filled with water. So I vacuumed all that out and threw it in the sun, on the driveway for a couple days, and kind of let it dry out. So it's dry now. I don't smell anything. And then the wife went crazy with the water bleach. So that was what I did to get it to the dealer, because I didn't want it stinking and all wet for the tech there. So I pulled the carpet, put the seats back in, and drove it to the dealer. And they did say the body control module had no communication. So they gave me a quote to replace the body control module and program it at a little over $1,000. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, I looked up the part number on the body control module, and I could have bought the part for $80, where they charged me $350. and then they charged me another $600 and something for programming, I guess, and installing it. It's literally on the left kick panel. You pull it down and you unplug the 5 or 6 connectors out on there. It literally takes 10 minutes. And that was $600 something worth of labor and programming. And probably maybe an hour or two of diag was included in there. So then they called me a day and a half later and said the body control module now can communicate, but your functions still don't work. You still don't have alarm. You still don't have the passenger door function. Radio's dead. They said the radio, I needed a radio. It's like the whole assembly, which sucks, but you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm taking this with a grain of salt. And the HVAC controls were going. I have air conditioning. The air conditioning works great in the truck, but the heat, it won't change to the heat function. So they said you need a body control module, which we replaced, and you also need a F harness. They gave me the part number, and it's the harness behind the dash. I'm like, oh, great. How much is this going to cost? So they gave me the part number for the harness. The harness was $808, and it's behind the dash. The dash has to come out. The labor was $3,100, and I told them, ouch. Okay, what do I owe you? You know, I'll have to do that myself, because, you know, I can't give you guys another $4,000, over $4,000 for to put a harness in the truck. So I'm walking very slow. I apologize, because I hate this truck at this point. So here we are. The dash is almost out. I pulled everything out of this truck, and I'm looking at the harness. I was hoping they thought it would need a harness because it was damaged behind the dash, maybe with mice, because this truck did have a broken window for who knows how many years sitting at the auction, and I was guessing, you know, maybe mice, rats, whatever, got under the dash and just went crazy with it. That would explain why, you know, there was no function in the passenger door. The radio was going crazy, or the radio doesn't even turn on, and the HVAC won't change to heat. And not to mention the alarm, the key fob does not work. I have to stick it in the little slot in the center console, and then it'll start up. But the truck cannot recognize the key in the car. So here's where I'm at. So I'm almost done getting the dash out, and you know, it's not bad on these base model trucks, honestly. I mean, this would be a hell of a bigger headache if it was you know, $80,000 fully loaded quad king cab, whatever, you know, with every option. And you know, because their dashes are much different, they also have like full consoles, so it wasn't that bad. It's just step by step. I started with the little silver trim ring around the radio, and once I popped that out, it was just, you know, remove any 7mm screw that I could find, and you essentially can take the whole dash out with a 7mm socket. You got a 7mm socket, a Torx. There's not many Torx. The Torx is a what is that, T15. There's maybe less than a handful of the Torx. Most of them are the, you know, the 7mm screws, and then there's a few 10mm bolts. You know, there's two 10 mils to hold the A-pillar panels on the, because they have the pull handles, and then there's another two on the other side for the other A-pillar. And there was 3. Let me go to the other side. And there was 3 10mm bolts that hold the airbag to the frame of the dash. And then the whole, the top piece all comes up. The top cover comes up with the airbag itself. And now the only thing that's left is the actual dash. And as you could see, they're just 7mm screws, the remaining. I'm videoing it now because, I don't have any manuals. I did this just by, removing, I YouTubed one video, how the heck do you remove the radio? And it's essentially the colored trim around the center. You pop that off, and then you just start removing bolts, and each piece comes off together. You work your way left or right, whichever you want to start. And then, things start popping off, like the upper glove box, the lower glove box, etc. And, you start removing screws and things just start popping off. They're literally only 7mm screws and a few of those T15 Torx. And then the rest, how it's held, is a majority of the panels are just literally clipped in all the little notches, and then you just pull and yank. But make sure you get all those bolts. But this is where I'm at. This truck is frustrating the hell out of me. I did the math on how much I have invested. So, the diagnosis, the BCM that the dealer charged me, because they charged me a little over $1,000 for the BCM replacement with the programming. And then they wanted to know if I wanted to continue to find out what was wrong with it, why it wasn't working. So they charged me another couple hours diagnosis for that. So the total bill, and I paid with a credit card, so they got me for a credit card fee too, was just under $1,600 I owed them. And then they gave me the part number for the harness that needs to be replaced. So I said I have to do it myself. I got way too much money into this truck. The tally right now is $16,600 into this truck. And yeah, it's pretty disappointing because, if I bought this truck with a salvage title in the beginning, I probably would have only paid $5, maybe $6 after all the fees. But I bought this with a clean title, and then Auto Bidmaster changed it to a salvage title. So I purchased this thinking it was a clean title at over $10,000. So that's where I'm getting screwed at. It wouldn't be so bad if I paid $5 or $6, with a salvage title, knowing it was a salvage title, because then obviously I wouldn't have bid that much. But I'm stuck with it. So I'm going to continue this project. I'm going to finish ripping off the dash, or taking off the dash, not really ripping. I want to preserve everything. It's, like I said, it's just the 7mm bolts, and whatever's left, I'll just pull the dash off, and then that's it. I'm going to order the harness, and I hope that solves the problem, because, I'm literally out of money. And, the concrete is, if you guys don't know, I do have a concrete company. The concrete's starting up, so I'll be busy, working, trying to pay for the family, the bills, and this damn truck. So if any of you guys are willing to help, I'll take it at this point. That's all I got to say. I'll do a quick overview of the truck here so you can see it. And the good thing is it does run good. There's a whole lot of turbo whistling noises in this thing I wasn't expecting, but I like that noise. So yeah, it's missing that cover, and I'm probably not going to get it because budget. But my goal is to get this thing up and running and have the inspection after the body repairs within the next 2 or 3 months. The body guy did say it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks just to get the title after the inspection, so I won't be able to drive this truck, assuming the dash harness fixes it. Won't be able to drive this truck for a while. And it's, you know, I'm going to have probably over 20K into this truck. I still don't know what the body shop is going to charge me. I'm afraid to even ask, or even not ask, but I'm afraid to just guess on that. I'm assuming it's going to be $5,000. But you know, I'm going to have a pretty beat up 2024 Silverado truck with a rebuilt title for well over 20K, and I probably could have just bought a clean title one for around that or less. You know, like I said, the good side is it only has 21,000 miles, but nobody's really going to care when it's this beat up. And I'm hoping the body shop can do an amazing job on this for cheap, because all I need is the inspector, the salvage inspector, to look over this and pass it. Hell, if they can pull it, bondo it, I don't care, just whatever's cheapest. But I'm afraid it's not going to be that way. So this is where I'm at. I thank you guys for watching, for those few that are actually watching. Until next time, I'll see you. Bye.